I'm sure that most people that get a diagnosis of alopecia areata, the first thing they ask is, what did I do wrong? Or how did this happen? You want to get at the base of why it happened. And that's a good question to ask. This is Dr. Dwala Mota Nelson, your healthy scalp specialist. If you have not been diagnosed with alopecia areata, I definitely recommend seeing a dermatologist or seeing a scalp specialist that can really give you some insight on if your scalp looks healthy, if it's alopecia induced by stress, if it's alopecia induced by chemical or heat burn to the scalp. So that professional can tell you what your scalp looks like and give you an idea of why you are experiencing alopecia. Feeling those emotions is absolutely normal. But the most important thing is, getting the diagnosis, making sure that you know for sure that it is alopecia you're dealing with, not just hair loss that you might be dealing with, but if it's alopecia, you want to be vigilant. You want to be specific. You want to be able to tackle it head on and not wait for 2 or 3 months down the road, because alopecia doesn't usually get better by itself. It's not something that just clears up on its own. It normally gets worse before it gets better. And so it's important that if there is a diagnosis of alopecia, that you start to treat it as soon as you notice it. As soon as you see the early onset little lesions on the scalp or the early onset types of characteristics of alopecia, you want to start to treat it as soon as you see that. You don't want to wait and set it aside and don't deal with it at that point. This is Dr. Dwala Mota Nelson, your healthy scalp specialist.